So crazy news coming out right now with this whole Jay-Z situation. But one thought that came to my mind was just, the relationship between Beyonce and Jay-Z and the support system. I heard over the years they have a very good marriage, very close situation. A lot of people said that their relationship isn't as bad as people say it is. They're somewhat looked at as an it couple. And seems like Beyonce is happy in the situation. That's what a lot of fans say. I want to know, how do a lot of women feel about the situation around Jay-Z now that Beyonce has kind of heard the same thing that other people have heard as far as his interactions with people in the parties that's been going on, because a lot of people feel like he's basically being handed out on a silver platter. But in other situations, like, all we know is what's been going on as far as the business and everything else. But this party situation and the interactions with Diddy, we have no clue what was going on with that. People did have ideas of him and Diddy partying together and over the years having close relationships. And uh these are guys with billionaires in hip hop. They've always had a close relationship over the years. Never had too much problem. They've always never had too many issues from what I've seen. They were actually two guys that was doing some different things recently, and I'll put this information out right now about the Grammys and everyone else. I don't know if people remember recently, but Jay-Z had came out and spoke against the Grammys. Jay-Z Grammy speech about Beyonce reiterates an ongoing issue with awards. And from what I seen, I felt like they was gonna get real pissed off about this. When did that happen? That happened earlier this year, right? And I'm gonna drop some more information off about that. And but what they're really, and I'm not saying that, I'm not excusing anything. I'm just bringing this up right now. I'm just saying this is an issue. This was an issue, and what Diddy had said at the Grammys, like, it might have been a post party or pre party, whatever it was. It was something like an after party, but it was at the Grammys though. It was something like show, whatever. It only had celebrities and big time people in there. But Jay-Z called out the Recording Academy snubs against his wife Beyonce during the Grammys on Sunday, in a speech that drew attention to the lack of recognition black artists have endured at the esteemed award show. Greg Carr, associate professor in the Department of Afro-American Studies at Howard University, says the music industry was built on exclusion. Once exclusion was no longer an option, the inclusion of black music has been curated and, at least historically, very carefully to be absorbed that music while minimizing black people, he says. So a professor. During the Jay-Z's acceptance speech for the Dr. Dre Global Impact Award on Sunday, he underscored this lack of acknowledgement. We love y'all. We want y'all to get it right. I don't want to embarrass this young lady, but she has more Grammys than anyone and never won Album of the Year. So even by your metrics, that doesn't work. So he had to call it out that Beyonce never won Album of the Year. And no black woman has earned that award in 25 years. Not one black woman has earned that award for best album of the year in 25 years. Y'all telling me it's not a black female? That's why I said, like, the things that was going on as far as everything outside of and other things like politics and everything else. It's cool and everything else, but when you look at what that situation, is kind of weird. But I think they had got a little pissed off about this situation. He said Beatles aren't black. Elvis ain't black. Elvis wasn't black. Bob Dylan wasn't black. This is the car professor. Bob Dylan wasn't black, but the influence of black people allowed for the incorporation of black musical style without black people. But yeah, he was talking about all that and the racial bias. Only 3 black women have been awarded Album of the Year since it was first introduced to the Grammy Awards in 1959. Natalie Cole, Whitney Houston, and Lauryn Hill. What does all those 3 people got in common? They're not in the industry, really. Lauryn Hill's hanging around, but she's not in the industry. And we know what happened in Whitney Houston. So bad situation. They named some other females and everything else, but this what got them really pissed off with the whole Jay-Z situation. But also him doing bad business practices and not having the people around him. You gotta think about it. He hasn't had people around him in years. They don't know nothing about what he has going on. The party that he was possibly at that night didn't have people that he had around him at that time. They were probably most likely not at that party. And that's what these people like. They love to have you in a situation where, so now Beyonce's like, I don't even know about, we weren't together around that time. If we were together, I wasn't around them. So it's a lot of situations that's going into this, and it's kind of hurting the dynamics of their relationship and their marriage. It's hurting it bad. Because now she's gonna have to be put in a position where she's gonna have to choose, and will she lose fans if she say, hey, I'm gonna support my husband? Will she get backlash? But one thing she's gonna have to do is she's gonna have to be like, hey, I'm gonna have to stick with one thing or the other. And I'm gonna have to figure out real soon what's going on and what's the trouble behind all this. But it's putting her in a tough situation. Now she's gonna have to split her fan base in half to either defend or just stay in the background. It's gonna be backlash whether she in the front or she in the background regardless, because you know how people are. But it's a tough situation. Jay-Z is definitely being put in a situation where he's gonna have to prove a lot of things. They want to put some evidence out here and get some public perception going. But this is the way they do it, man. They did it the same way with Diddy. He's gonna have to figure out, hey man, I ain't got that many people around me. This is what happens when you don't have people that was around you from day one. Now you can't have anybody co-sign for you. You can't sit up there and say, well, Dame was around that time. Dame gonna be like, man, I don't know what you talking about. I ain't talked to you in years. I don't know what you talking about. We ain't really been around each other in like 20 years. I don't know. I don't know what he talking about, y'all. I don't know what he talking about. All I know is I'm trying to make it work right now, but I don't know what he talking about. So Dame is gonna be in that situation, and Beyonce is gonna be like, man, I don't know either, and I'm trying to support you, but this is gonna be a hard situation. This is all allegedly. I'm just paraphrasing. This is all innuendos, not really anything specific, solid. But that Grammy speech got them very pissed off. I tried to tell people about the other one that Diddy had, and it's on his page if you can go find it. But yeah, they didn't like that. They definitely was like, no sir, that's not gonna roll for us. And that's the route they're taking. And they're not gonna stop until they're done. And will Beyonce be there after all this is finished, or will she be out the door? We will see, but a lot of celebrities have already caught flights. They've left the country and they're gone. Right now, is it going to be Jay-Z in a situation like Diddy, or will he be able to get out of this? Right now, it's just a civil case, so not behind any bars or nothing like that. But it's still going to be a tough situation because more things can come behind that, like Diddy's situation was. So we'll have to see. But this is all allegedly at this point. Innocent to proven guilty, but hey, evidence is what makes you guilty, and they're trying to pile up some evidence right now.